So I told you to use one of these two tubing, right? Or pieces of extrusion. And if you go into that and you download it, did you notice the part number changed when you downloaded it? That's okay. It all comes back to the same one because that part number is for that specific cut length of it. And so here I'm on the product page and you can see that's got the drawing. If I pick the 1/2 foot one, it has the 6575 N201. If I change the length, the first part stays the same, but the second part changes after the letter. You can see it's changing there. And so that's fine because you can just go in, if you search for that number, the 6575 in 187, it's going to bring you back to that main part number. So on your bill of materials, you can either include the base number here or the specific length, the specific one for the cut length. Either one's okay. Okay. So like if you need a 30-inch piece, and you buy the 3-foot piece, and you put that part number, that's fine. Or if you use the base number, we just say, okay, we're gonna, we need to, but we can buy a 6-foot piece and cut it into 2 of them, or whatever. So it's okay, whichever way you want to do it for that. Okay, that makes sense. And then the next thing was on trying to get together the assemblies here. If you the question was, how do you put it on and then be able to move it around later? Because like this piece here, if we're going to assemble the side, the 2 legs, and this piece first, then this bracket has to be put onto that first before you get to the next subassembly, right? And so this would actually be these pieces as well as this piece here. And then on the next subassembly, you just use, 2 of these things, and then just all you're adding is this cross piece. That's fine. You can just be adding 2 subassemblies plus 1 extra piece. That's okay, but this piece has to be put on here first before you can get to the next thing, right?
Wanted that.
Yeah. So, and we're here, like this piece here, if you're going to use this one, this would be installed on this piece on the leg first, and then brought up to the cross member, right? You're going to do that as a subassembly. And so, but that would be in that subassembly. And so the question is, how do you be able to put it there? And if you know exactly where it's going to be, great, you just made it to exactly where it's going to be. But if you want to be able to control it separately, how do you do that? Because even if you leave it unconstrained in the assembly, so if I open up this assembly here, this piece is unconstrained, so I should be able to change the thickness of where it needs to go, because maybe I don't know right now. How do I make that so it can move when it's here in this assembly? Right now, it's all one piece, right? So if I right-click on this subassembly, there's this option here, which is Make Subassembly Flexible. If I click that, now things that aren't constrained on that subassembly are not constrained here. So now I can go in and tell it to mate top of that with bottom of that. And I can tell it to mate top of that, top of that. And then how do I make it line up? A hole. I can use these planes, right? So if I pick like the plane there to the plane there, lines them up. Now I can slide there. Now I can put if I had found the right screw, I could put that in. So maybe I want the screw to be in the subassembly, but I haven't put it in there yet. Now I can go in because now I know how wide it is. I could have measured it first and done that, but sometimes I like to just do this, and then I can just pull control, grab both those. It's telling me the distance is 0.46. So I know I need a 1/2 inch screw there. I'll go back here. I'm going to go to this 1/2 inch one. And I'm just going to do the SolidWorks file. The SolidWorks is, for me, this morning was acting up. And if I put in a step file, it wouldn't save the assembly. For some reason, I had to save it as a SolidWorks file first. So actually, because I want the no threaded, I'll just do that one. And I'm going to go in and open that file first. So, and save it as a SolidWorks part. Of course, make sure you go through, update your properties, right? And the custom ones you can't do, but go to the configuration properties and update here. These will work, and these will show on your drawings. Okay. Now I can close that. Open the subassembly. Put in that new screw. Save it. There we go. Now it's in there. We know on these extrusions that the thickness is going to be the same on all of them. So now it's going. And so that's how we can build the whole thing. Okay. And then same thing here. This one, we can let it slide. Save this. And then when we go to the next subassembly, that's where we can adjust it if we wanted to. Or you could tell it where to be here. Either way works. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Did anyone see that when they download your connectors, what is included? So if I go in here and I go into one of these, it says mounting fasteners included, right?
Yes.
Are they in the files?
No.
Sometimes not. So, but we need to show them on our model. So if it doesn't come with it, you need to make your own subassembly like I did here. And so where those files are is if you go into this T-slot framing fasteners, just grab a single, either any one of these single ones, just so you have something there to show. And then this still doesn't have the screws. So these ones come with the screws too. So you could grab one of these and it'll have the screw with it. That works. And then we can just use the body move like we did last week or on Monday. Or you can just put in this one and then just find the flange button head screw. And it's a 832 and tells you that on this page. If I look here, it tells me my thread size. So depending on which one you pick, get a thread size that's appropriate for the nut that you brought in, and then use that. Okay. Any questions on that?
Molding. In the wrong word.
Yeah, if you need to adjust things or find it from another source, that works too. So Charles McMurray is another company that does a bunch of wood supplies, and they're local.